I got done playing, the thought of being away from the game of football just didn't feel right. And so I always thought one day I would coach in some capacity, but I didn't know what that was going to be like. And started doing some quarterback training and met the quarterbacks that were here at ALA Queen Creek, and came out to a spring ball practice just to kind of check them out, and realized how much I missed it. And oddly enough, the athletic director and head coach came up to me and asked me if I'd be interested in helping coach the team. And it was a no-brainer for me. He said, absolutely. And I fell in love with it right away, just because I love the game of football so much, but then all the knowledge and experience that I had in football, you know, to be able to take that and give it to these kids and try to be the best mentor and coach that I can be, just felt right. It made sense. And so that's kind of how it fell into my lap. And you know, I think it's definitely meant to be that I'm coaching, and love doing it.
A lot of guys have trouble with that. You know, they lose the limelight a little bit, you know, that lifestyle. And for me, I had ranch in Texas, was looking forward to spending holidays down there that you don't normally get holidays in the NFL. You know, Thanksgiving and Christmas are work days still most of the time. So for me, I was looking forward to that time and being done, and then moving on, and you know, had a younger family at the time, and so spending time with them and being more of a part of their life and their activities and things was something I was looking forward to. And so for me, I felt like it was a pretty easy transition moving on and being done playing.
So I just finished my 10th season, going into my 11th year here at ALA, and as a coach, and for the last 7 or 8 years, assistant athletic director as well. So I'm rooted in here, and I've kind of become, you know, a true patriot in the sense of the word. Our mascot's the Patriots, and love what we do here. I love the culture and how we do things, and we really do our best to do it the right way. So it's a blessing to be here at ALA. So you spend so much time and energy and effort as a player in football, and you learn a lot about not just playing the game, but you learn a lot about yourself and how far you can push yourself and prepare yourself, and everything you do to try to be a master of your craft and the best you can be. And then how do you be a leader on a team and influence others, and how do you guide them through adversity? And so there's so many life lessons you learn that helped me later on when I needed them. You know, the things that I was struggling with in life, I was able to take lessons learned and apply them. And so the amount of years that I got to play, I just think you learn so much that it makes sense in the game of football, and to be able to pass that on is really what it's all about. You know, I'm trying to not just have great football players, but great young men, and prepare them for what's next in their life, whether that's school or a job or getting married or serving a mission or whatever that might be. Preparing them for that is just as important as, you know, winning state championships, and so we take a lot of pride in doing both.
You know, my dad was a high school coach for over 50 years, and grew up around it. Grew up ball boy on his teams when I was younger, and so, you know, that's probably the biggest influence as far as coaching, just seeing the impact he had on kids, and then, you know, wanting to have that opportunity as well. Really, you know, kind of, I always felt like the fallback plan if I didn't make the NFL was to coach, and ended up doing it anyway, you know, so.
You know, it's funny, I used to joke with Ty when he was calling plays at BYU. I'd say, hey, one day we're going to coach together. I always kind of thought it was going to be in college, and I think it was even better that we got to do it in high school.
You just see the time and energy he puts into game planning and scheming and trying to give us a chance to really be good. You know, I enjoyed talking ball with him on that side of things, and working together on some of that.
You know, Ty brings a lot to the table. We all know he's got a great football mind, but the lessons I learned on how to manage kids in situations, how to manage coaches, how to create a culture. What was really special about him was watching him make connections and make relationships with all the players. And it didn't matter if you were the starting quarterback or you were the second string punter, right? He was going to go out of his way to make sure that there was a relationship there. And watching him manage that, and then not only everything he did to help me as a coach, was impressive and invaluable time that I was able to have with Coach Detmer.
Well, Mac's a competitor, man. He gets excited and fired up about competing, and he hates to lose. He was really good with the offense, and that allowed me to kind of oversee the program, interact with parents more, the players as well, to kind of, have a hand in all of it, and he could focus on the offensive side and being a mentor to the boys as well. So I felt like we really had a good time together, worked well together. And
obviously coaching together, you spend a lot of time with each other and really get to know. And anybody who really knows Ty knows that he's just salt of the earth, genuine dude, and honestly cares and isn't too big for anything.
Overall, kind of like my dad and Lavelle, where you felt like people cared about you and had a general interest in you as a person, and I hope that's what our players get out of it. You hope they feel like that they had a relationship with you and they learned some things from you that they can take with them, like I've taken from coaches I've played for, from Mike Holmgren to Steve Mariucci to John Gruden, and you take a little bit from everybody, so hopefully they take a little bit from me and are better for it.
I love high school football. I think it's still the purest form of the game, and Friday Night Lights, anybody will tell you there's nothing like it.
The thing I like about high school is you see these 14-year-old knuckleheads come in and they turn into pretty good young men at 18 and ready to go take on the world. So that's fun for me, is to see the growth and the maturity they get as they go through high school, and hopefully you have a part of that, helping them grow up and learn some life lessons along the way.
I think if they could take away this concept that the football field is a lot like life, and the struggles and the things that you go through in a football game are going to show up in a different way in life. And if you can conquer those on the football field, you can definitely figure out a way to conquer those as you go on through the rest of your life, because we all know that one day football will come to an end, and for most of us that's sooner rather than later. And you got to have a plan for what's next and what you're going to do with those principles and values that you've learned.